What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, L Teddy 27.
What's good? It's like right about the hood.
Oh, dear God, I'm already eating a drink.
Look a damn mess. Just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no.
What up, what up, what up, what up? What's good? What's up, people? What's up? It's me, I'm L Teddy 27. I'm back for another retro review. This is going to be our retro review for The Wire, Season 2, Episode 4. And it is entitled Hard Cases. All right, let's get right down to it. Y'all know there's always a lot going on. So if y'all remember at the end of Episode 3, there was all of those overdoses down to the prison, okay? So we start off, Frank is sitting at the pier. Frank is there. Nick rolls up. It's like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Frank talking to him and this, then the third. Then Frank goes off. Frank knows and found out that Nick and Zig had this whole thing where they stole the container filled with the cameras or whatnot. Frank is pissed because, you know, all this shit rolls down on him. And so he was like, we can't be stealing. You know, people got products. They can't afford to lose all of this. This is going to come back down on us. This, that, and the third. Don't be stupid. He's going off. Old, new, past, present, beginning, and end. But he then says that you got Nick all involved. Zig all fault, you know, all up in this shit. I can't have that. But at the end of the day, he says, I need the cameras back. And Nick is like, it's already gone. There's nothing we could do. We already sold it. He'd be like, well, how much did you get? You said $20,000. $20,000. He was like, listen, don't go flashing your money around. Don't do all of that. Don't bring no undue attention to yourself. Just lay low for a little while. Don't do that shit no more. I'm here to protect you. I'm going to get you out of this. But y'all can't keep doing stupid shit and making me have to bail y'all out. And I was here for Frank. One thing I love about the relationships that you see with the family on this show is, be it with the Barksdales and you see it with the Sabatas, that even when family fucks up, they always go back and they reprimand them, definitely, but they always bring them back into the fold and still help them with all of their connections in any way they can. And I always like to see that. Then we see the prison leadership, you know, the warden or assistant wardens and all of the powers that be, people in charge of the CO, the guy in charge of the COs, the assistant warden, the warden, all of those people, they meet up. So they talk about, listen, we got to make this go away because the news papers are asking and the news stations are asking. All of the press want to know what we're going to do about this whole overdose of people in jail. They got 5 people dead and 8 people in the infirmary. And they got to get some answers. So they find out that there was some strychnine. The toxicology report said that there was some strychnine in that in the drugs and whatnot. So the guy who's in charge of the CO says, listen, the only way we're gonna make this go away is if we get some people to snitch. And the only way you're gonna get some people to snitch is if we take some years, shave some years off of some of these sentences. So if y'all can get that for me, we can probably figure this out and solve this. Then we see McNulty going down the homicide. Now, he's still trying to get info to help him out. Remember, he said he promised he was going, one of the girls, he had chosen one of the girls, and he was going to make sure he did right by her and make sure she don't end up being a lost cold case. So he's trying to get information that he can about that one girl or whatnot. Bump says, you know, we ain't give you nothing till you give us Omar. He was like, I already have Omar. I've been knew where he was the whole time. And Bump was like, So he gets a little bit of information from Bunk and Freeman. But we know McNulty been lying. He's lying. Anyway, Burrell then meets with Daniels. Burrell offers Daniels, because Daniels was like, listen, I'm retiring. So Burrell is like, well, listen, if you stay a year or two, you can retire then, and at least you can retire with a major's pension and not just a lieutenant. Because you know I'm going up to be police commissioner. And another major is about to retire. I will give that to you. I can promise you that. That's the deal. I will give you that position of major. And if you still want to retire at that time, you can retire. You'll just retire as a major. Because he was like, because Dave's like, I'm getting ready to go take the bar. So then Daniel says, nah, it ain't just that. Because Burrell tells him, you know, he wants him to go work on that detail that Val check got going on. Daniel says, well, I also want a permanent specialized unit assigned to me as well that I can that's permanent, similar to the one that they have for the Barksdale detail. And he was like, okay, I'll give you that. And he was like, one more thing. And Barrera was like, okay, I'm giving you a major position, I'm giving you even a specialized unit that you can have all to yourself. He was like, I want to be able to pick all my own people because I ain't going to let you hem me up and put my shit up like you did the last time. So he was like, all right, well, give all your names to Rawls, and Rawls will make sure you can get all of the people you want. These are the kind of power moves you love to see. These are the kind of power moves you love to see. Anyway, then we see McNulty down at the evidence basement. He's looking for stuff, trying to connect dots, trying to do what McNulty does, trying to connect dots. Down to the prison, D is listening to the gossip and stuff that the inmates are saying about the overdoses, the bad drugs, and who they were targeting, and why it got in there, and this, that, and the third. Stay tuned for that. Nick and Zig are at the bar. Now, Nick tells Zig, listen, your daddy know, and he ain't happy. You need to keep a low profile. You need not, don't be flashing your money. Don't be going out making all these big purchases because we need to keep a low profile to keep, eyes off of us with all of this. Next thing you know, Zig starts to teach Nick about because he stole one of the cameras. So he's showing him how it works and the fact that it doesn't have film. And I remember that time. I remember during that time, the early 2000s, when digital cameras started coming out. And you went from having cameras that took film to having cameras that took the little chip, the chips that you would have in the camera, the digital cameras. I remember that. And I remember being fascinated by it. I remember buying my first digital camera. And I actually remember my first YouTube channel, the one that was way bigger than this one. I used to film my videos on a digital camera, similar to that one. And I just remember those times. I remember being fascinated by them. Anyway, Ziggy, in the middle of the bar, pulls his pants down, pulls out his meat, and takes a picture of his meat in the digital camera. Just a mess. Just a damn mess. Anyway, McNulty is at home. And he's in his bed or whatever, listening to the answering machine. Yes, I said answering machine because you young kiddos don't really know what answering machines are. But back in the day, we had answering machines, not voicemails. Anyway, he got nothing but an answering machine full of problems. He got Bunk bothering him about finding Omar. Dentists and doctors calling him about missed doctors and dentist appointments. His wife calling him about something with the boys. The state attorney's office calling him about more stuff with finding Omar, this, that, and the third. He just got nothing but a bunch of problems on this good answer machine. Nick and his girlfriend, baby mama, done been banging all night. They wake up from a night filled with screwing and banging all night in the basement. And they talk about, continue to try to find a place for them and have their own spot so they don't have to sneak around in their parents' basement and they can just do it in their own house. They got a lot of plans. I did notice these motherfuckers didn't even take a bath. They ain't even bathe. But they finna go out because they got all these plans that day and they ain't even take a damn bath. That's some dirty ass shit. Is that what white people do? Y'all just don't bathe like that? I mean, we already know white people don't use washcloth. They use the soap directly on their body, which is the nastiest thing on earth. But do y'all also not bathe? Ooh, that's nasty. Anyway, we next see Bunk, Freeman, and Russell hanging out down to the port. And, Russell is kind of giving them the heads up on how things kind of run down there at the port with the Port Authority police. And then they get a little backstory on how she ended up becoming a Port Authority police officer. She used to be one of the people that worked down to the toll booths that take your money for the toll booths. She used to do that. And then she saw a flyer, advertising, the position. She needed more money because her husband had left her a few years ago and moved down to Houston and left her with kids. And she needed more money to take care of them kids by herself. So you get that backstory on Russell. We then see D goes to see Avon. Now, D confronts Avon about the bad drugs and overdoses and stuff like that. Avon is like, what the fuck you want me to tell you? You want me to tell you I ain't do it because you ain't going to believe me anyway. So whether or not you believe me or not, you should be grateful that you're still alive and that I saved you. And so he was like, listen, you need to keep your head in the game. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get us out of here sooner than later. They're going to want somebody to tell them who's responsible for the drugs getting in here. I know who that is. And that means that I can get both of us less years on our sentence and we can get out of here sooner than later. You need to stay with me. And so he was like, listen, I can give you the name. You and I, we can go down to the assistant warden and let him know, and that'll help us out. D goes and says, I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want no parts of your plans. I don't want nothing to do with this. Don't bother me no more. I'm out of the game with you. I don't want nothing to do with it. Leave me alone. Which is the dumbest shit on earth. It's just stupid. At this point, I would have been like, whatever I need to do to get a less sentence or get less years on me, I'm here for it. But unfortunately, D is stupid. Anyway, down to the port. Ziggy done bought him a new $2,000 leather jacket and is flaunting it all around the port, making everybody jealous and stuff like that. So Nick snatches him up and goes off on him and say, motherfucker, did I just tell you not to be flaunting this money, not to go make big purchases, and you buying $2,000 coats and shit? Just a mess. Ziggy is a whole mess. We then see McNulty going all around town looking for Omar. He saw some little kids. He was asking little kids or whatever. He saw some drug dealers on the corner. He went and asked them if they knew where Omar was. He can't find Omar nowhere. He knows he got to find Omar for Bump. He knows that. Stringer then is down to the trap house because one of the their new shipment of product is just weak, real weak, and it's getting weaker and weaker every time they get new product. And it's making them harder for them to split the drugs or whatnot and do what they need to do to, make the drugs and split the drugs and, to get the money that they consistently use because you don't want no bad product because people are going to stop buying from you. So he's coming to grips with that and trying to figure that out. Bunk and Freeman then meet up with Colonel Rawls. Colonel Rawls, because remember, he used to be Major last season. Now he's Colonel Rawls. Rawls goes in on them and says, listen, basically he don't like the trajectory of the case. The fact that it seems like nothing is going on. The fact that they not doing things that he deems is the right thing to do. Like the fact that they let that ship go without keeping those people and interrogating them and this, that, and the third. Rawls is going to make them the scapegoats. If they don't figure this out and they don't solve these cases of all of these dead girls and Burrell ends up looking for somebody to blame, Rawls told them in by no short words, y'all are going to be the scapegoats. Just know that. McNulty is riding around still, trying to find out if he can see Omar. While he's riding around, he sees Bubs with the white boy. They get on the bus, so McNulty follows the bus. They get off the bus, they go in some store, steal a whole bunch of Walkman and electronics that they, going to sell for drugs or whatnot. So Bunk catches them coming out of the store having stole some stuff. He tells them to get in the car. He tells them, listen, I know y'all done stole this, and if y'all don't want me to take y'all down for theft, y'all need to find me Omar. I need Omar. One back scratches the other back. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. So he tells them, listen, I need information on Omar. Stop playing with me. So Bubs is like, all right, well, you could just have this. Damn, I don't got to do with all of this, because McNulty was like, you got to pay taxes on this stuff, and your tax is the information on Omar. So Bubs gives him the a couple of the stolen Walkman and say, listen, don't worry about it. You can keep it. I'm not gonna give you no information on Omar. So then Ziggy and Nick, they meet up with the man that they sold the cameras to down to the Greek's little spot or whatever. And Nick tells them, listen, we got to hold off on, a lot of the high price electronics and stuff like that. The block is hot. They're looking at us. We don't need to do that for a little while. He was like, listen, I don't want that kind of stuff. I want some chemicals. I want this, and this. Whatever these chemicals are for, whether it's for making a bomb or whatever it's for, he wants chemicals, and he wants lots of it. And he says, if you can get me that, I can give you top dollar. And so Nick said, let me see what I can do. Ziggy is there. And why in everything that is holy is Nick still here doing all of this stuff with Ziggy? Ziggy is the wrong answer. But you can't tell people nothing. I don't understand it. You can't tell people nothing, I guess. But yeah, he still got Ziggy there with him. I'll never understand it. McNulty then sees, I told you about McNulty and how he hemmed up the white boy and Bubs. We'll get there in a second. Avon and his lawyer meets with the prison leadership. He tells them, listen, I know who brought the drugs in. Now, if you want me to get the drugs to you, this is what Levy, Avon's lawyer, is saying. If you want us to give you who it is, y'all need to shave some time off. We want at least a year off of his sentence, meaning he can apply for parole in about a year. I mean, he would only have served a year in prison, and then he could apply for parole. Child. The people are upset about it, but then they're like, well, we need to get this figured out. We need to solve this. So, and I love when Levy said, well, listen, y'all are having all of these, hang-ups and trepidation and everything. You could have a whole nother 5 people OD today because the drugs are in here and they keep coming in. What happens if y'all have another 5 people, die today? And they had to think about that thing. And he said, listen, y'all go ahead and think about it, but the next time we meet, I need the assistant attorney general here. And they leave. Nick goes home. His mom is making dinner. They have tuna surprise. Mom tells Nick, listen, I need you to go get your daddy down there to the bar, bidding on the horses like always. Get him and bring him home, let him know dinner is done. So he gets down there to the bar. His dad is doing, this thing with the horses. He's got this little whole thing he does with horses and horse betting. But anyway, we find out the dad works down to the docks as well as a longshoreman, but something must have happened where he can't work there anymore. He wants to work there, but something happened with the dad that now he's no longer allowed to be down there and work down there anymore. And I'm sure that's going to play a particular important part in this puzzle at some point this season. So y'all hold on to that information. Put a bookmark in that. Daniels goes to Rawls with his list, and Rawls says, I don't care, all the people on the list, you can have them, except McNulty. That rat-ass bastard, you cannot have him. He's he ain't getting off the water unless he either retires or drowns. I don't give a shit. You can have everybody else. But McNulty, no ma'am, no God. We ain't doing it. I got my claws in him, and I ain't letting go. So then we see Kima and her girl. They're going somewhere, maybe to a dinner or maybe to a concert or something. They're going somewhere. These white frat boys done got traffic stopped. They in the middle of the road, just being assholes, obnoxious, mooning people, this, that, and the third. Kima wants to get out so bad and do some real police work and arrest these guys. Her girl is like, listen, I've told you I don't want you doing all of that. You studying to be a lawyer, that's all you need to focus on. All that other stuff, I'm trying to keep you from getting killed. Kima got that itch. Baby, white boy pulled his pants down. Kima said, fuck it. Kima rolled up out that car, snatched him down, threw him to the ground, and put the handcuffs on him. You could tell she missed it. And her girlfriend and her girl is looking like, I know you the fuck lying. Anyway, we then see Ziggy goes to his boy in the control room and asks him if they're in the containers there with some of those chemicals that people are looking for. And the guy says, what are they looking for that for? And he be like, I don't know. That's just what they want. But they ain't got none there on that day, I guess. So as Ziggy is leaving, one of the other guys in the control room accidentally, on purpose, bumps into Ziggy and wastes coffee all over Ziggy's jacket. And Ziggy is hot about it. And he tells Ziggy, oh, I'm sorry. You mad about it? Why don't you go down there and steal a whole container full of baby wipes and wipe that shit off your damn jacket? Because everybody at this point know that Ziggy, done been doing, illegal shit. They're going to protect their own, but that don't mean they ain't going to give you a hard time while you're in the office. Daniels goes to Kima about joining this new detail that he got. Kima tells him, listen, you know my wife. You know she ain't here for the fuck shit. Daniel's like, you know my wife, and you know she ain't here for the fuck shit either. She don't give a shit. She don't want me in it. She thought I was about to get out and take the bar and become a lawyer. She don't want me to stay in this. And so they both like, yeah, neither one of our wives gonna like this. But you know they gonna do it. You know Kima is in. Kima's all in. But they still got to bring it to their wives. Bubs and White Boy, not Omar, but White Boy talk about whether or not they should give McNulty the info on Omar. Bubs then talks to one of the other bases and says, you see Omar around this, that, and the third. While he's talking to this baser, one of the chicks that work with Omar is talking to another baser, trying to get intel on, one of the drug dealers so, they can do another heist or whatever. She overhears Bubs wanting to know or wanting to get in contact with Omar. She gonna go and let Omar know. Avon and Levy then meet up with the prison leadership again, but this time they do have the assistant attorney general there. And they, they set up the whole deal and the plan for Avon to get a lesser sentence. And Avon tells them about the CO who brought in the drugs, and he tells them, listen, you either search his person, search his locker and his car, and you're gonna find some drugs. And they said, as long as we find the drugs, we'll the deal is on, and you can get years off your sentence. Down there, the Major Valchek's office, he's still getting pictures from the Longshoremen's Union of the van making its rounds across the fruited plains all over these yet to be United States of America. Child, they still fucking with him. Daniels comes through and briefly about the new detail and said, let me take you down there to see the new digs and whatnot. So then McNulty goes to have he goes to this lady's house, and he has this letter that he got from Bunk and Freeman. He has the lady translate the letter to see if there's information that he can use from the letter. And there's really not any information there, but the lady said, let me hold on to this and see if there's any other information that I can find. And all of this is a connection with that one dead girl that he's trying to figure out. Nick and his girl are walking and talking, and he tells her, listen, I came into some money. He lies to her about how he got the money, but he says, I came into some money, and I think it's time for us to, maybe go find us a spot. And at first he says rent it. He be like, nah, maybe we could buy us a spot. A nice little spot, nothing too, extravagant little. But in my mind, the way my math adds up, if y'all only got $20K in that last gig and y'all had to split it between 3 people, that only ends up here between $6,000 and $7,000 per person. Closer to 7, but still be less than 7. That ain't enough to buy you no house nowhere in America, unless you just talk about a down payment. But we'll see, honey. I don't know. I mean, it can maybe buy you a small trailer park, y'all might turn it to trailer park trash. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. The people down to the prison go and search that CO. They go in this car. Yes, they find the drug. They find the drugs, just like we know from last episode in the little halls, throat lozenges contained. They find the drugs on him. They arrest him. Ziggy is in the control room. He on the computer of the guy who wasted coffee on him, doing something on that computer. We then see Bunk and Freeman go down to the port. Now, Bunk and Freeman start to question and interrogate one of the guys. He's one of the big guys down at the port named Horseface, one of Frank's right-hand men. And Horseface, or whatever his name, Horse, won't budge. Is like, because they're like, y'all, you need to come downtown with us. He's like, I ain't going no damn well. Unless you are formally arresting me, I'm not going nowhere. And if you are arresting me, I need to talk to my shop steward and have him bring the union lawyers down there so that I can be with my lawyers. Other than that, no, I ain't going with y'all nowhere. And so they see they can't make no way edgewise with him. Ziggy is then coming downstairs, and Frank sees him, and Frank goes off on him about the camera and everything and taking pictures at the bar and just being way too flashy right now. And as Frank is, slapping him upside the head, Frank sees Bunk and Freeman interrogating Horse. And he knows, yeah, this is bad business. So then, upstairs in the control room, dude comes back, turns on his computer, and what's on his computer? A big-ass picture of Ziggy's meat all across his computer screen. Just a mess. Just a damn mess. Anyway, Valchek takes Daniels along with Kima and Herc down to, the spot where the new detail is going to be. Freeman is coming in the next day or two because, he's out with Bunk, doing their detective work, so he's not there yet. Herc tells Daniels, because when Valchek left, Valchek says, listen, if you need anybody else, let me know. You have anybody in the Southeast District that you want, they'll be here for you. So Herc tells Daniels, listen, how about you go get Carver? Because Carver now works in the Southeast District. Daniels ain't pay him no mind. Because remember, Carver was the double cross. Carver was the one who double crossed them with the Barksdale case. So Daniels don't seem too enthused about ain't trying to pay no attention to trying to get Carver to work with him on this detail. My question is, where's my boo thing Sitnor? Can we get some more Sitnor up in here, please? Please? Can we get more Sitnor? Anyway, we then see Bubs and White Boy walking. Who rolls up on top of them? Omar with the shotgun. I heard you looking for me. And we'll see later what happens with that. Not this episode, though. We then see a montage of both Daniels and Kima sitting at the table with their wives after they done told their wives what about this new detail. And the wives are pissed. It's the cold shoulder. They are pissed. So mad that they both have the same reaction. They are livid. They are evil, bitch. They are upset, bitch. They is big mad. They both storm away from the tables. But they know both Kima and Daniels, they in this thing. They know how these spouses are. McNulty then takes the signed separation papers down to his wife. And he ends up telling the wife, I signed it, but I don't want this. I ain't here for the money. I really want to get back with you. Really, McNulty. Child, I guess. If she fall for it, she's another dumb one. Down to the funeral home, Stringer's office. One of the guys comes in and turns on the news station where they're doing a press conference. The assistant warden down there to the prison is doing a press conference talking about how they, got the CO and how, they had to take down the CO and they, solved the case of where the bad drugs came in and so forth. Stringer has him turn it off because he was like, listen, I need to study for my final. But the thing about it is, Stringer knows if that happened like that and they going to prosecute the man to the fullest extent of the law, he knows that means that they worked out this deal to get Avon less time than he originally had, which means Avon will be out sooner than later. Stringer seems a whole lot less excited and happy about this than he should be. You would think Stringer would be so excited, because that's the double cross. You can already see it. Number 2 is always plotting on number 1, and if they can get number 1 out the way, and if number 2 can get number 1 out the way, and they become number 1, they're gonna do their best to do that. And you can see Stringer's wheels churning, and they say he ain't as happy as he should be about Avon possibly getting out sooner. Bump, Freeman, and Russell go down to the bar where the longshoremen be at. Frank there, everybody there, they having a good time. Frank, Nick, everybody there. Frank there having drinks and whatnot. Bump, Freeman roll up on Frank, and Frank recognizes them from the port. And he says, are y'all Port Authority police? Because I recognize y'all. He was like, nah, we from Baltimore PD homicide unit. And he was like, ain't nobody died. They were like, yeah, you have 14 deaths, and we are investigating. And so he was like, give me a moment. I need to go use the restroom. So he goes to the restroom, and he starts freaking out. He knows that he has a problem. He throws up and stuff like that. He's looking at himself, all, kind of, unnerved and stuff like that. And he's just looking at himself in the mirror because he knows, this is about to go down a rabbit hole and we're about to spiral out of control. And he knows that, it's going to get worse way sooner than it gets better. And it goes off from there, y'all. We building more and more drama, man. It's a lot that's about to go down in this episode. In this season. I am liking the chess moves that's being made in this season, y'all. Let's stay tuned. I hope y'all are loving these reviews. I am loving the chess moves more so than season 1. I love how in season 2, everything is so strategic. Everything is a chess move. Every move involves another move. Or every move can affect another move down the long run. I just love it, man. I hope y'all are enjoying this. Take the ride with us. Until next time, that's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely.